What up?
Sup?
You just had a party foul, dude. You just spilled a little bit of your beer.
I know.
She's sober.
I was trying to read the can, all right?
Are you still trying to find out what the ingredients are?
Well, no, I was trying to see where the brewery was from.
All right, everybody. Welcome to another amazing week of Case Files with Kat.
And Ashley.
And Melissa.
Hey, everybody. So we got a guest this week. I think you heard her there at the beginning. I can get this to the right volume. We have Melissa here with us to do a little bit of a different kind of episode. I started going down this sort of rabbit hole of a couple of different stories, and I was so uber interested in the topic and how broad it was and how big it was. I was like, well, let me bring in Melissa. So Melissa, give us your bona fides. Tell us all about you.
So my name is Melissa. I am the Outreach Education and Prevention Director for Bay Area Turning Point. We are a nonprofit that provides services for victims of domestic violence and sexual assault. We do crisis intervention, wraparound services. My role in particular is to educate people on all the things domestic violence, sexual assault related.
Okay, so today we're going to dive deep into the issue of cyberstalking. But first, we've got some new beer on the table. So I want to, not me, I got the same old, but I want you to say the name and what.
I'm going to try not to spill it this time. It's King's, I don't know. I'm such a bad German. BRAU is the other word. Anyways, yeah, there we go.
Okay.
But it says
and I'm Mexican, but okay. Go.
This font is like ridiculously little, guys. Crisp malt forward and light on the palate for all day drinking. See, it's my kind of all day. Dry hopped, and it says it's bright and grassy, similar to a Sauvignon Blanc. It's from Back Pew, which is in Porter, Texas. I actually really love Back Pew beers. This one's really, really good.
Hops like a Sauvignon Blanc?
Yeah, it says bright and grassy aromas similar to a Sauvignon Blanc.
I don't know. Wow.
Sauvignon Blanc is a very acquired taste. So,
did you look this up?
I drink a lot. I drink a lot. And actually at the wine thing that you had at your previous employment, they had a person that was serving Sauvignon Blanc there, and they educated all of us a lot about how it's an acquired taste.
Yeah, because I don't normally like whites because they're too sweet.
Well, see, I love Chardonnays, but Sauvignon Blanc is definitely something else. Anyways, it's a festive beer.
I have to try it.
It's my season of beers. Oktoberfest is here. I like Oktoberfest beers, Marzens, pumpkin beers, those types of things. If anyone's looking for like a
gift for your birthday,
to send to Kat's house for me.
For your birthday, it's coming up.
Every day, any day, birthday, sure.
We're almost in your birthday season.
Yes, so. Your birthday season's here.
Sure, it's here, but no, I don't celebrate the season. I don't need to be reminded.
Well, I'm not celebrating my birthday season. I'm celebrating Halloween.
Oh yeah, that's your birthday though. That's kind of like you kind of have like a full month. Your birthday is Halloween.
Okay, it's not really Halloween,
so but then we celebrate it on your birthday.
Okay.
I have two birthdays for you.
Oh.
That's how I see it.
Wonderful.
I know you get two birthdays. That's
great.
Same age,
my season.
Twice a year. I love it. It's you. Okay, what you got?
Oh, I am drinking my regular Lone River Ranch Water Seltzer. I love my Ranch Water Seltzers. And this is the spicy one. So
is it really spicy?
It's got a little bite to it. It's not like it's going to burn your mouth off, but I promise you, if you open it and immediately try to take a drink, the spice is going to hit you a little bit.
Oh, interesting. Okay, so what are the spices? Or what are the flavors?
Jalapeno. So it's got a taste of agave nectar, lime, and jalapeno.
That sounds so good.
And as we were comparing ingredients, I can read all the ingredients on
mine doesn't have the ingredients.
I'm sure it does.
I mean,
it's hops, it's water,
hot beer.
Listen,
that sounds like the Hatch chili beer that I had. That sounds really good.
Can she have one? Do you want to try it?
I mean, I don't want to take your beer.
No, I have 6 of them in there.
Well,
I haven't really been...
if you're Sarah, you would drink all of them.
I really have not been drinking the last several weeks, so I'll probably be good after like 2 of them.
Oh, Sarah. Oh, she just gotcha. Sorry. All right. We're already...
Well, that sounds really good, actually. I haven't...
It's delicious.
I didn't used to really like seltzer beers or seltzer waters, any of those things, but I've really gotten into seltzer waters lately.
Oh yeah, they're refreshing and delicious. If you're looking at all day, if you're looking at an all day drink, that's a perfect all day.
Oh
drink.
yeah, these get dangerous if you're doing all day.
Okay, so I'm just gonna get into it, so we don't have to spend.
I forgot why we were here. I'm sorry.
We're just talking about how we like to drink. Okay, so the first thing that I came across was so I started listening to Unraveled, which is what I listened to when I did the Long Island serial killer case. This was the show that covered it in 2020. And this is before they figured out who had done all those killings. And then, so I was like, man, this was such a great telling of the story and the crimes. It was so interesting. Then I continued on to the next seasons and listened to everything that they've basically put out at this point. And one of those seasons was about a cyberstalker that had 50 plus victims. And Jason Christopher Hughes is his name. And one of the things that just made me the most aggravated was that he basically almost got away with it. I saw there's an article from ID, investigationdiscovery.com, that came out in, it doesn't have a date on this. Does it? No, it doesn't. But it says an internet stalker tormented more than 50 victims before he was stopped. And he ended up doing a year in jail and then 3 years probation. That was it. After all of that,
Shocking.
He ruined marriages. He ruined people's careers. It was ruined. And so it was just really frustrating to just sort of listen to the victims have, do all these things. Then the next story, I was like, well, God, I got to learn more about cyberstalking. And then I went onto this catfishing story. And this catfishing story came from Something Was Wrong podcast, season 20. And 20. And she does these great deep dives on different topics about trauma and stalking and all this kind of stuff, domestic violence, all this kind of stuff. So this particular story starts with one victim, and she's talking about, just coming out of a really bad relationship. And this is one of the most interesting stories that I've listened to in a long time. It was riveting because, like, oh my goodness, I've never really paid attention to any catfishing story before. Yeah. So like it was new, right? I mean, it's new. I don't know. I'm not young. I don't spend that much time on the internet, not that much time. And so this one girl, Monica, is talking about how she was just out of a relationship and she gets onto a dating site, and, this guy kind of comes on and they start talking, and she's not really looking for anything sort of not a flash in the pan. She's not looking for a fling. She's looking for, you're looking for exactly what I'm looking for. And then it becomes this sort of like, well, let's not meet. Let's not talk. The relationship really started over text, and then it became this sort of love bombing. And over the course of 4 years, this relationship went on, and they never talked on the phone, and they never met in person, and they never FaceTimed.
That sounds like perfect.
In the midst of all of that, though, she wanted to meet him, and his name was Brody, and she wanted to meet Brody, and Brody had a friend named Matt, and Matt had this on again, off again girlfriend, and this girlfriend was going to go to their motocross. Okay. So she was like, so Brody says, hey, my friend Jess, Matt's on again, off again girlfriend is going to go to the motocross thing. Why don't you guys ride together? So she and Jessica go to the motocross thing together, but then they get this text message that Brody's been in this near fatal accident and is in the hospital. So Monica and Jessica become really good friends over the course of time. And so she doesn't get to meet Brody then, but Jessica's still in her life. And then they become such good friends that they become roommates. And then the real isolation, manipulation, and control really start happening from Brody's end, and it ends up always being Jessica.
And it's multiple victims.
And it's multiple victims starting in 2007. Before there was she was text messaging when you still had to pay for text messaging, right? Like when it was MySpace and the infancy of Facebook, she was doing this. She was always pretending to be another man. And it was so sad because it's like either you're not cool with being gay, and so you're getting that love and affection from these really pretty girls, but then there's also the power and control, which I know you're going to talk about.
Yes.
That she felt because she would plan the dates and then cancel the dates and be right there with the girl.
Oh my God.
So and she's doing all of this while she's with them.
She's trauma bonding with them in front of them. But there was also a very sinister side.
This is why I don't like people.
There's a very sinister side. She also would ask for nudes. She would sext with them. One of them, one of them had a vibrator that was remote controlled. So she was using that
in the next room.
So there's a level of sexual assault, and then she would set up the cameras inside the house, so she had control. You can't be friends with other people. You can't do this with other people. I don't want you to be friends because they're all lame. And so it was just this very so clingy and needy, and nobody was really going, is she just in love with you? And not.
Yeah.
There were a couple of people doing that, but I think what really has gotten me is that she would these girls would overlap. The women that she was catfishing would completely overlap with each other. She would even bring the two of the girls that she was catfishing to the same place for a hangout, but she would separate them.
Oh my!
They weren't allowed to speak to one another.
And did they know they were both there though? They thought
that they didn't like each other.
Oh my God!
So she convinced them. She convinced one that the other girl didn't like her. And then she convinced the other one that the other girl was just too busy all the time. And it turned out she started doing this whenever she was 13 years old.
In 2007. So now she's a respiratory therapist living in North Carolina, I think is where she's at now. And
the one that was doing all of this?
The one that's doing all of this. And so they've been getting her fired from whatever, nursing home that she's working in, hospital that she's working in. They're trying to get her license as a respiratory therapist revoked because, but the federally, this is a crime. But in North Carolina, this is a slap on the wrist. It's nothing. There is no crime.
Home state. That's so sad.
I know. And she's gone to Florida. She keeps kind of moving wherever that next victim is, and she befriends them, and
So she moves in with each one of these?
Not all of them,
but in the later years, yes.
Oh my gosh.
One, I think she had this going on with for
Monica.
No, it was
Lauren.
She lived with her for several years. And yeah, I feel like Lauren's case was pretty bad.
I mean,
they were all bad.
They were all bad. Lauren was the real. I mean,
I think hers was the longest.
The college. No, I think Monica. Was it Monica like 4 years? I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna get into this. I'm gonna get into Monica because there's one TikToker. Monica's on TikTok too, but Danny is one of the friends that was never catfished. She had a boyfriend the whole time. Okay. So she kind of saw this sort of from a different perspective.
She was the friend of who?
Jessica.
Oh, okay.
They worked together.
And she brought her onto her work, and then that was like a whole thing. But she has a TikTok, and I put the link in the show notes of a sort of like a timeline of the text messages that would come from Brody. One of them is, the first one was, I just want to know everything about you. And I get excited thinking about learning. I want to know what you love and what you don't like, what's made you who you are. I want to know everything. So she knows this is someone coming from a very vulnerable place. And, she's the highs and lows at this point. And then the next one is, I hope it hurts. Why are you lying to me? I swear to fucking God, if you don't tell me the truth right now, you'll be one sad fucking girl in a second. Couldn't get enough of him. Why the fuck did you lie to me, you fucking liar? Keep fucking ignoring me while you lie, act like a slut. I can't wait to fucking hurt you, lying fuck. Why don't you not know how to tell the fucking truth? And it just goes, just this all in caps tirade of that. And that's so like that, there was a high of like, I want to know everything about you. And then I don't just think about right now and how seeing you the first time is going to go, Monica. I literally think about even a year down the road, going to the grocery store together and goofing around, me throwing random snacks in the cart and you telling me how much of a child I am. Then further down the road, you asking me to send you a picture of what I sent our Minnie to daycare in and being like, Brody, just like, you know what I mean? There's this love bombing. And then when I need to meet you, we need to meet
if I'm getting text, I know that I'm not in that situation, so I'm not judging her. I'm just saying like how, like, I don't know. Like I would just, if someone was like, how, you know what I mean? Like when you've never met that person and they're just talking to you, I get it's way harder when you're living with the person. You don't have anywhere to go. You don't have any support. Like you've never met this person and they're like cussing you out and like,
this is not right away though. Yeah. This is just
okay. I thought you were saying it was like
it was just like
I thought you were saying like it was like one message and then you know what I mean.
From this beautiful thing to all,
that makes sense. Yeah.
Once Jessica came in the picture, once that relationship started,
I thought you were just saying it was like back to back.
Then the Brody stuff started, and it was like, oh man, Brody's just going through a lot. He lost both of his parents. He's doing this and that and the other. Here's the other thing: is that Jessica actually created other people. So
she created an entire
family, that also spoke to each of these girls. So Matt wasn't real. The sister wasn't real. The whoever, brother. Like everybody, nobody was real.
Oh, and then he had one of them die by suicide. Matt died by suicide. Yeah. Yeah, she killed off one of her own characters.
For Lauren?
She did it for everybody.
No, did someone die for all of them? So he also
died for all of them.
He also attempted suicide a bunch. And so then you can't leave if you I'm playing this thing. I'm sorry. It says, test me, give me 2 minutes and I'll pull the fucking trigger. Like
that was she thought that was coming from Brody.
Fucking try me. I will pull the trigger in 2 fucking seconds because of how low you have me right now and how you're fucking talking to me. Try me. The response was to, I'm going to go. And that was the response to that. She said, "This isn't okay. Nothing about this is okay." And he said, "Make something else up. I dare you." She said, "I'm not making anything up." He said, "Say I fucking lied when I never fucking did. Been waiting over a year to be where you said you wanted to be together." I mean, I just can't imagine what that felt like. And I think, for me, it was, especially at the beginning of listening to that, it wasn't that I was at all victim blaming. I was trying to really figure out like where you had to be.
Yeah.
Because I don't know this life. I don't know meeting people online. That's not been my experience.
Yeah.
But if you're going into 2020, if you're going into lockdown, you've just been hurt horribly, or even if this is 2017, whatever, if you've been hurt and going online as an option, like you keep it casual. And then there's this person who's saying just awesome things, who's right there. Every time you text, they text back. There's hardly ever a break.
But like they don't ever call you.
They don't ever. They don't want to
meet you. Like I don't know. I guess it's because I'm not a trusting person. Like because of the trauma that I've had. Like for me, I can't put myself in her shoes to understand.
But these are all.
But I know it happens.
These are all giving people. A lot of them were in the medical field.
Yeah.
And so they're all.
I think all of them were except for Lauren.
Yeah. I completely understand how someone could just be like, that. Just I'm saying from my personal experience, like I don't trust people at all.
And they're younger, and they're like, "Look, I just have a lot of trauma." And then you're like, "That's cool. Like I'm not gonna push you if you're not comfortable talking on the phone. I get it.
Yeah,
I don't like talking on the phone.
I hate talking on the phone.
I hate talking on the phone, but I'll do it.
Yeah.
But I mean, and I'm going to step in for a second here. So what Jessica did was she was targeting vulnerable individuals. Yeah. So every single one of these people had come out of some sort of bad relationship or were in some sort of situation where they were vulnerable. They were feeling vulnerable. They were just looking for love. Yeah. They just wanted somebody to love on them, right? And that's exactly what she gave them. And again, they're young, a little naive, very vulnerable spot. And then once he had them hooked, I'm the same way. And I have met people online because, anyways, I'm not that trusting either, but I used to be. Yeah. Like I used to be in that spot and I'm just like, I don't understand what's happening. Now, I never got into any kind of situation like that, thankfully. Yeah. Probably pretty close sometimes. But I'm getting off track here. So he wouldn't force them to do any of that at first. But then whenever they would suggest FaceTiming or talking on the phone, he would always make up an excuse of some sort. Yeah. And then he was also tricking them into, Jessica. Was tricking them into.
It's hard.
I follow you with, I get what you're saying, like Brody.
Yeah. I think one person he made drive like 500 miles to meet him. I mean, he's having
she's in the car.
He's having women drive
while Jessica's in the car.
Yes.
And the whole time, and the reason why they never caught on to this is because she was just always on her phone. And so that just, it wasn't suspicious. Yeah. That she was on her phone.
But she had a screen protector. What is that called? Like where you can't read you can't read the screen. And everybody was like, And
that's kind of common for medical people though.
But she was.
That's so, I don't know.
She's just a respiratory.
I can't keep up with myself, let alone 7 different fake people that I'm creating just to trick people, and that is just blows my mind.
The amount of work,
the amount of evilness behind it, like it blows my mind.
And then once she has them hooked, that's whenever she starts using that power and control, those power and control mechanisms. So she starts isolating them, and then she starts using coercion, which is those suicidal threats, or making them feel like it's their fault. So minimizing how they're feeling, because they all at some point told him how they were feeling about how he's treating them, and he always turned it around on them. They were always the bad guy.
Yeah.
He was just this poor innocent guy that was trying to love them. And we see that way too often.
And guess what? They found the real Brody.
There was a real Brody?
Oh my God.
She was basing it off a real person?
Yes, that she actually met as a teenager one time.
God. So you're just going to ruin everybody's life.
She actually did. She ended a relationship that he was in because...
It's insane. You have to listen to this.
Yeah, you really do.
I love Unraveled. I haven't listened to that episode, though. So I'm going to... But it's on Unraveled, right?
No. This is called Something Was Wrong.
Something Was Wrong.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's season 20 of Something Was Wrong.
Oh, my gosh.
So Unraveled is...
stressing me out.
I scream in my car. I have to.
Go get one of the ranch waters.
Oh, I will wait.
I was going to say, grab me one too.
Oh, okay. So, y'all keep talking.
Okay, she's having a hot flash anyway, so she's fanning. So then the next one was like the true cyberstalking. Somebody who would have a bunch of different accounts, and that's going into the Jason Christopher Hughes. That's the Unraveled one, Ashley. And then that's the one that had the 50-some victims and got very little punishment. By the way, Jessica Pauley is still not in jail. She's still not been charged with anything. There's nothing going on. There is before I forget, there is a change.org petition. It only has like 273 signatures, including mine.
Oh,
go and sign it. It's got, we're trying to, the idea is if enough people say she should be held responsible, held accountable for this behavior, then yes, sign that petition.
Unfortunately, I think we've seen how the justice system works, especially with some of our recent stories. Yeah. It's so unfortunate. These people
we need to change laws. This made me want to go into lobbying just to change cyberstalking laws.
Well, and that was so I'm only on episode 10, so I'm only halfway through the season right now. But I think that's the most frustrating part for me is, who was it? Bree and Lauren got restraining orders. At first, they denied the restraining orders because they gave them protective orders for abuse.
So can you explain the difference between a restraining and a protective?
Yes. So a restraining order is usually tied to a civil case. There's really no criminal element to it. Typically not a criminal element to it. Protective orders there is that criminal element. It is a civil order, but it is issued for the cases of domestic violence, sexual assault, stalking, and trafficking. Sorry, lost my brain there for a second. So ultimately, they really should have been issued protective orders because it was stalking. It was a roommate, which does qualify under family violence. At least under Texas law, it does.
Oh, and there's the rub because they did not say that. I don't think that they classified that as
I don't know what North Carolina law is, or Nebraska, or Iowa, wherever she was. Yeah. I know Texas law, though. Yeah. Under the Texas Family Code, family violence is defined. The relationships that are defined under the Family Violence Texas Family Code, are intimate partner relationships, spouses, family members, dating partners, or members of the household, which would include roommates.
That's interesting.
So technically, Monica and Monica and Lauren should have absolutely been issued protective orders. But again, that's here in Texas.
Ain't that some shit?
But I think the frustrating part was whenever they were investigating the case, they were working with the DA. Basically, the offer was, we'll ban her off of social media for a year. Like, how are you going to even enforce that?
How are you going to enforce that?
How are you going to enforce that? Like, you really think she's going to follow that? And for a year? The girl uses multiple accounts.
They don't keep up with sex offenders. They're not gonna like keep up with someone being banned from Facebook. I mean, Jesus Christ.
Like, I'm to the part now in the podcast where the actual journalist is interviewing like the DA and the investigators.
Oh, this girl calls the FBI. She's calling.
Which girl?
Well, yeah,
the host. She's like,
okay.
I'm on behalf of. She's trying to get. So in the show notes there is the link to. I don't want to get the name wrong. The FBI Internet Crime Complaint Center.
Yes.
And so there's a link to that. And then there are links to Stalking Prevention Awareness Statistics and Resource Center, but there's other links to, of course, RAIN. If you feel like you are, wherever you are in the United States, if you need help, please do get that. So links are in the show notes.
And just to clarify, the Internet Crimes Complaint Center is where you can file those crimes. Basically what they're going to do is they're going to analyze it, and then they are going to pass it on to who it needs to go to, which I think is also one of the issues with investigating and prosecuting cybercrimes, because there's so many jurisdictional issues there. Also, if they're passing it to local law enforcement, how trained are they to investigate these cases? Because a lot of times you're working with people, the offenders are highly skilled in cybercrimes. Oh. I mean, if I were an investigator, like, I would not be able to prosecute anything, because I'm just not that tech savvy. And I think they may give some basic training on investigating those crimes, but really it is a federal crime.
It's so, I think it would be so hard to trace some of these people, because it's so many ways to hide your real identity online. So easy to become untraceable. Easy. Like, it's crazy. I feel bad for the officers and stuff that have to try to figure it out, because it's so hard. Like, I'm glad there are people that can do it, but I cannot imagine the training and just education and whatever, how smart you have to be to figure it out.
Yeah, you need to be highly, highly trained.
Yeah.
So as I'm looking into, so we have the catfishing, obviously, with the Jessica Polly case, with the Jason Christopher Hughes case. That's really like this. It was really like a revenge, whatever he could do to ruin all of these people's lives. He was described as having probably having borderline personality disorder, where he sees everything very black and white. And so if you wronged him in any way, you were wrong. There was no gray area. Oh, you didn't want to commit a crime for me. I get that. That's cool. He was like, oh, no, you're against me. You went against me, and then you're dead to me, and then I therefore will make your life a living hell. And he would do that he was very, very smart. Very, very smart. And just had the ability to go and just ruin people by being the troll, by sending out the emails to your work, talking to your boss, all of that. He would just ruin people. And one of the things that I think made me want that sparked this interest in going down this rabbit hole was, as I'm listening to it, like, there's nothing they can do. You can't live off the grid. You can't have a job and not have an email. You can't. What kind of work are you going to do? Meaningful work that can you do?
Well, apparently you can be a respiratory therapist.
But she's like living,
She's not off the grid.
She's not off the grid. Mm. She's the one doing the stalking. But for someone like Jason Christopher Hughes, he was, wherever they went, he would find them. Yeah. And if they joined a new app or whatever, he would find them, and then he would ruin them there. And so, yeah, no matter where they went, it was crazy. So they'd have to get a job. okay, by the way, this is going on in my life. I've had this stalker for 20 years, and you're going to get an email about some crazy shit.
And how do you just go living like that? You get a new job and, oh, by the way, hey, you may have this come
through. Can you imagine being the employer though? Because who do you believe? This, you know what I mean? It's hard for employers.
Right.
This person is.
So the thing that really took him down, his own hubris, but there was a car fire, or his car was set on fire, which caught his house on fire. So when the police came, he blamed one of his victims and called her
ballsy.
The stalker. So then the police go knocking on her door early one morning, and she's like, oh yeah, oh, he says that I'm the problem. Let me just give you the list of names of the people who are.
Women always have receipts.
They're because they all started to find each other. They all started to find each other.
I'm glad he did it, right? Because then he got caught. But how stupid to blame the fire on one of your victims.
But then he went on the run because he was like, oh yeah. Then they pieced out. He cleared out that next day.
Well, here's the thing, and here I haven't really looked into that case.
And he was married.
Yeah. Well, here's what I'm thinking is, yes, it probably did start as revenge, but what I'm assuming and what it sounds like, especially listening to the Something Was Wrong, the Jessica Polley case, they get a high off of this.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. This excites them.
Jessica, the trauma she caused was the high, because then she got to be that blanket, that warm, fuzzy blanket. And watching everyone else squirm was Jason's high. Bleh.
Yeah, but I mean, what? That's probably an adrenaline rush for him. It's okay, well, this is actually getting a little boring now. Oh, it's getting exciting again. Somebody tried to kill me. Now let's try to blame it on one of them and see if I can get away with it. Yeah, it's an adrenaline
escalating.
Rush.
Yeah, I get it.
It's his own hubris. It's his own hubris. So, if you guys could only see.
She's squirming everywhere.
Who, me?
Yes.
Oh, I know. This is
still a
my
single
80. I know.
Normally you're good though, but
I have so much anxiety, and I felt like I was having a panic attack earlier. I got so much going on. It's my chest hurts. Seriously.
I just want to remind you that this true crime podcast is because you forced us into it. So
no, it's what? This is my happy time. This is happy time.
Clearly.
This is my happy time. This getting to see my friends. Life is not the happy times. Do you see these black boxes that are behind me? Yeah. These are my centerpieces for my gala. Do you see how they're not done right now?
Nice.
I feel like I need to come help you with these.
I am.
Is that why you really invited her?
Yeah, no.
To guilt her into helping you with these centerpieces? Wow.
I didn't realize how much time they would take, and I'm overwhelmed, and yes, I'm overwhelmed. So anyway, that's why I can't sit still. So that's the anxiety. So anyway, as I was doing some research into this topic it started with these two, right? What are you going to do? What are you going to do? Looking at my kids. What am I going to do with them? I can't keep them off the internet. I can't do that as much as I would want to. Their teachers put them on the internet. You know, they have to get on the computer. And
Talking to the elementary school kids that I talk to, it is terrifying.
Oh no, this is junior high, more specifically, because Olivia's going, Olivia went to sixth grade, and now she's she has to be on the internet to do her research.
I see teachers all the time posting kids from their classes on TikTok.
Yeah.
It's insane.
But I mean, so I present to elementary school kids, and that's one of the things we talk about is cyber safety. And I talk about the dangers of giving your information, because they all like to play on the online games. Mm-hmm. And of course, we know there's a lot of predators on online games and a lot of scammers on the online games. And I'm just like, okay. So, I asked this question after we've already discussed it like a million times. And I'm just like, okay, so are people that you meet on your online games really your friends? And even though we've said the answer is no a million times, they're just like, yes. And I'm like, no, not somebody that, if you already know the person, that's one thing. I was like, if you're meeting them online, that's not safe. But it's not getting through. And that's to be expected with elementary school. But then they carry that into middle school and high school and college. Right? And I mean, we're living in a digital age. Everything's online. They don't even do textbooks anymore, do they?
Nope. Which I just learned. That was on I think I told you that story.
Or tablets.
Where I was like, so are there do they wrap their textbooks still? Like are there book covers?
Oh man.
They're like, no.
Where are you from?
That was
1500s.
That was literally an assignment to wrap your textbooks. I know,
we would get in so much trouble. I
felt like Pee Wee Herman in Pee Wee's Big Adventure, like, there's no basement in the Alamo. Like, I was just like, oh, sorry. I felt like everybody was laughing. Like, well, I don't know. I'm old.
Well, today's times are definitely. I remember when I was in middle school, I gave my address to someone online, like from AOL or something, because I thought they were my friends. And they sent me something in the mail. And I just remember my grandparents. I thought they were going to murder me. Like, I legit thought they were going to murder me, not the person I gave my address to. But I never did it again after the Come to Jesus talk. But it could have ended up, I feel like nowadays it could have ended up way worse than what it did. But yeah, I thought these people were my friends.
Oh, yeah. Oh, those AOL chat rooms were the worst. Like, whenever I was younger, I was obsessed with Jonathan Taylor Thomas.
Yeah.
As a lot of girls were. I know I wasn't the only one. But that was like whenever chat rooms were like really big. And so you could look up certain topics, and some of those topics could be celebrities. And so I would find all the JTT chat rooms. And there would always be somebody that would go in the room and pretend to be him. And of course, my naive little butt thought that I was really talking to him. And I would sit there for hours talking to him. And I'm just like, looking back at it now, I'm just like, how could I have been so stupid?
What was I thinking?
As a kid, you're just so naive, like, especially if you're alone. Like,
but
lonely,
then that carried into later years, because I had dealt with some trauma between then getting into college and graduating college. And so I was in that vulnerable spot.
Yeah.
I was in the spot where I was desperate for love and going on these dating apps. And I was the idiot that was falling for the catfish.
Yeah.
Damn.
Now, thankfully, it never went anywhere. But
so stalking in adolescence, we're going to just kind of I'm going to give a very brief, this is from stalkingawareness.org. So 48% of teens ages 12 to 18 with dating experience were also stalked at some point in their lives. 48%. That's not even just including cyberstalking. So that I'm just going
what was the
into
age range?
12 to 18.
Okay.
Teens who stalk are more likely to be violent than peers who do not. Adolescent victims, 16 through 18, experience stalking in person and through technology 41% of the time. Mm-hmm. 41. Technology only, 34%. In person only, 25%. Unreal. Those numbers are just
that's only 16 to 18.
That's only 16 to 18. It is unreal. It is unreal. And I just reading these, it's just it is, we're so many of the people who are listening, myself included, were parents, and I'm thinking about what can I do to protect my kids? I can't keep them from the world. I can't box them up. I can't do those things, and so all I can do is just look at Olivia and go, see, this is why. There's a man who was just arrested in Texas because he had 12-year-old boys giving him pictures through whatever, Fortnite or Roblox or whatever it was, whatever gaming platform it was.
It was Roblox.
Roblox.
Yeah.
That's why my kids will never play Roblox. Not allowed in this house. But I was like, they were 12. And I looked at Olivia. I was like, they were 12. You're 11. You know, like, you cannot think that you are smarter. Like, someone is going to fool you.
Well, and let's
be afraid. Be afraid a little bit. I was like, this is why we don't let you talk to strangers on the internet. You don't know who they are. Unless you've met them in person, you just don't know who they are.
Well, and let's not forget, too, there are definitely a lot of pedophiles out there on the internet. But let's not forget that there are people out there who are literally trying to make pedophilia a sexual orientation.
Yeah.
Get the fuck out of here.
You didn't know that?
You didn't know that?
No.
Man. Yeah. There's like a whole group of people that are trying to fight to make pedophilia a sexual orientation.
They said that if they could be open about it, or the stuff I read said that like it would be less of a, what you would call it,
like a shock, a crime.
Yeah.
Except then they would have to go change that law where if you're under the age of 14, you cannot legally consent.
They basically are saying like they would be more willing to get help if it wasn't so taboo and they weren't allowed to talk about it. In the articles that I read, like they were saying like they wanted to be able to openly talk about it so that they could get the help they need.
Well, here's the thing.
But I don't think that. I think they're just sick.
Here's the thing with, if we're talking about sexual orientation, we're talking about the LGBTQ plus community. There's nothing wrong with them. They don't need help.
Right.
People that identify as LGBTQ plus, it's not like a mental disorder. They don't need help. That is who they are.
Yeah.
That is their identity.
Yeah.
It's not something you need help for. Pedophilia is something
100%.
I mean, help is not even the word.
So mad. Sorry, that makes me so mad.
I didn't know you didn't. Yeah,
I didn't
they've been
know.
talking about that for a while.
I just thought they were. I don't know what they were thinking. There are some new enhanced features that came out on the iOS 17.5. That was the anti-stalking features. I don't know how much. I think it's on Android as well, where if there's an unknown accessory tied to your phone, that it tells you. There's a phone. There's like
an air tag.
Like, this item has been moving with you for a while. The owner can see its location, so it's alerting you that there's some. Is
it the 17.5 or the 18? I just upgraded to iOS 18 yesterday.
This was 17.5, so April or May this would have come out.
Okay.
My phone tells me if like some kind of connection, not necessarily something following, but like if a Bluetooth or something connected to it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's good. So I think that what they're trying to do is go like, hey, you might want to pay attention.
Yeah.
But there are other apps. I wish I could remember what it was called. Not just Find My Phone, but like if there's something like it looks hidden. It looks like it's a calculator, but really it's tracking you. That's somebody who would have had to put on there.
Well, and that's why I downloaded a malware app. And
so
it's a paid app, but
it's not a malware. It's an app that someone, while you were in the shower, took your phone and was like downloading. And so you can go onto your, device apps and be like, I don't know what that is. I don't know what that is. I don't use that. I don't use that, which we probably should do.
I delete the apps I don't use
every once in a while. Don't even look at them.
I have so many.
I have so many. I don't even look at them after a while.
Oh no, I make it a point to go through and look at everything I have on my phone. And of course, like, I have to go down rabbit holes like this. And that's why I have the malware app downloaded, because we did a presentation on cyber safety. And I was watching this webinar and I'm just like, oh my God, what is that app to make sure I don't have malware on my phone?
Yeah.
VPNs are another good thing to have. Yeah. And I'm not going to say that these things are cheap, but they do help.
So, some examples of cyberstalking. I know that you're going to get into it. It starts so easy. It's just, it starts with trolling, right? Posting rude, offensive, suggestive comments online. You follow, if somebody's following you, joining the same groups, same forums that you are, then they start threatening, sending threatening, controlling, or lewd messages or emails. Then they start using the technology to send blackmail or emails like your job, to target you. Posting over and over on all the different profiles that they might have, like commenting on everything, to do that, messaging the target repeatedly, hacking into the target's online accounts, attempt to extort sex or explicit photos, sending unwanted gifts, releasing confidential information. That's scary as hell. Post or distribute real or fake photos of you online, bombard the target with sexually explicit photos of themselves. No dick pics, please. Create fake posts designed to shame the victim. It just goes on and on and on. Like, there's just so many different ways that you can. It goes past bullying to life changing, ruining behavior. So what do you have over here?
Oh my God, all the things. Where do you want to start?
I mean, what can we do to fix it? How about that? How do we fix it? Well, fix it, Melissa.
Right.
Have the answer.
I mean, do you want me to go fight all the cyberstalkers? Now would probably be the best time to do it.
That's your Halloween costume.
I'm kidding. I would never do that. No, like it's really just being mindful of what you're like. I mean, for prevention, like what are you posting? What information do you have out there? Are you being mindful of the information you're putting out there? Are you giving personal information over the phone, over email, over anything like that? You know, you're putting yourself at risk anytime you pay for something online or over the phone. You're putting yourself at risk anytime you give your social security number over the phone or online, which it's done that a couple of times because, you know, it's like, it seems legit. But then you also have your...
Don't we have to sometimes, though?
For some things.
I mean...
But you also have to look for phishing scams, too, which is where they will access your information by looking legit. And I know that's happened a couple of times at work where there's been phishing scams. And the way that they do that is they'll make one minor little change in the email address, but they make everything else look completely legit.
They can actually spoof your entire emails.
They can, yeah. So, yeah, spoofing, all that fun stuff. I know we've gotten emails that
they look like invoices. So you're like,
invoices.
Oh.
I mean, it could be from your bank, Amazon, sign in. Like, I get a bunch from people's things saying something's wrong with your business account on QuickBooks. Log in to update your information or your money will be on hold. All the time, nonstop.
I love the UPS text messages.
Yep.
You have a package waiting for you, or our package was undeliverable. Please call us and confirm your address. Like, it's insane how, but the problem is they make it all look legit. But that's getting away from kind of what we're talking about, how it leads to domestic violence, sexual violence, things like that. Really, with the online dating. Again, they're going to try to target vulnerable individuals, and really they don't even have to. They don't have to search out a target because you have a whole pool of people to choose from online, and you just pick the one that bites.
So for teenagers, the human trafficking aspect, I've heard that there's just like a massive amount of emails that are sent out, and one of those hundreds
they're
bites.
Just looking for somebody to bite. Yeah, they're just looking for somebody to bite.
So it's just someone just writing the same thing, copy and paste, copy and paste, copy and paste, copy and paste, and somebody is going to pay attention.
Eventually. Well, and they, a lot of people, especially younger people, don't understand putting their profiles to private mode. They have it public because they want the likes. They want the reactions. They want the comments. They want to grow their following. Yeah, they want to grow their following. And so they post everything online. I know this because I used to do this whenever Facebook first came out. But it's like, it's anything from, oh, I just made lunch, right? No, like I literally used to do that. And I see people that still do that. I'm just like, yeah, like, and so did the rest of the entire world. But then it becomes, oh my God, I hate my life so much. Nobody can be trusted. Nobody loves me. Things like that. And that's what traffickers are looking for. That's what predators are looking for. That's what online scammers are looking for. They're looking for those vulnerable posts so they can come, swoop in, and save the day.
What is that called? Vague booking? What is that?
Vague booking.
Is that when they're just like,
that's like asking for prayers and then saying God knows why. And then not telling you why.
Oh, yeah, vague booking. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, my life is so horrible, blah, 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 blah. What happened? And then they never respond.
Oh, my God, I can't deal with this. I can't do this anymore. Oh, my God, what's going on? Thoughts and prayers.
So you were talking about predators, and I'll just say from presentations I've done, they interviewed like child predators or kidnappers in prison and asked them how they picked their victims. And they said based on what their parents posted on Facebook about their kids, they would take pictures of their kids and impose like your kids in a bathtub and impose pictures over it. Or they would learn their names, their nicknames, their dogs' names, their favorite snacks, because their parents would post all of this stuff. So then they'd pull up with their favorite snacks, knowing their nicknames, knowing all of these things that their parents have posted about them online. And
your
that's how they would
told me to come get you.
And they would know your nickname, your grandparents' names, your parents' names, your snack, your pet. They know all of this stuff. And so many of the predators that have been in jail said, I got the information from photos that parents posted of their kids in the bathtub, in their bathing suits, whatever. And they would take them and sell them to other child predators.
Did y'all see those posts that were going around right before school was starting? Urging people, and I think I saw it last year too. I think it's a couple of years old, but they show the signs that people have their kids hold up on the first day of school, which says their name, the grade they're going into, the school they're going to, their teacher. And it's like, don't do that because you're telling predators exactly where to find your child.
Yep. Same thing with like robbers. They said they would pick their victims by who was posting on being on vacation. You have to be so careful what you post online.
Like man, the first time I heard that, I'm just like, I don't post anymore whenever I'm gone.
People just sit there and they look for those things. Like you said, like they look for the vulnerable people. If they know you're out of town or they know your husband's out of town or whatever, you're just an easy target. You make yourself an easy target because you don't think these things are anything. You think it's innocent. These people are just predators, and they're sitting there looking for these things.
Yeah.
I feel awesome right now. I just feel so awesome right now.
I mean, it's an unfortunate reality of the world we live in now.
If I didn't feel like I was going to have a panic attack an hour ago, I certainly do right now.
Like, it's scary. Like, I was looking at all this stuff last night before bed, and as I'm looking at everything, I'm just like, oh, crap, I need to look at all this stuff on my phone. And so I start going through my stuff, and I'm just like, all right. I'm going through my stuff, and I'm like, okay, I don't need this app. That was one of the app clean outs that I did last night. And then I started scrolling through my Facebook Messenger. Like, I went a couple of years back, and I noticed that at one point in time, my account got hacked.
Oh, wow.
Because I saw messages to people that I wouldn't typically message, and it was a voice recording. I'm like, okay, now I know I never do that.
Yeah.
It was a voice recording, and it said, listen to this. And it went to a couple of people. And I mean, this was probably back in like 2016, 2017. Right. But I'm just like, I never knew about this. And nobody ever told me. Nobody ever told me. And I'm just like, was it my voice? Like,
they can't.
No.
So, because we have an IT company, one of the clients, they are actually getting sued because someone recorded the owner's voice, called one of their highest paying clients using her voice, saying that their invoice didn't get through and he needed to do a wire transfer because the payment he made didn't go, and he wired $800,000 because this person had recorded her voice, had called the company, recorded her voice, and used it and spoofed her emails, and had called and used the voice, and he really thought he was speaking to her. He said it was kind of strange because she never calls me, but I mean, I've been a client of them for a long time. It sounded just like her. It's crazy. And then you got to think about like AI, like the song that Jason got. I mean, that sounds like a real person.
So I was actually watching a show one day. It was one of my cop shows that I like to watch. This one's cute though. It has a dog in it, and that's like the main character, which of course is why I love it.
Cop show with the dog as the main character. I'm already hooked.
Yeah, Hudson and Rex. Hudson and Rex. I love it. It is so cute. Anyways, so I'm watching this, and they did the same thing. Like these people were trying to break a killer out of prison, and part of how they were able to shut the place down was they recorded the voice of one of the higher ups. And they were able to speak into something that would let's say they had this device in front of their mouth, right? And then it would sound like it was that person talking on the phone to them, telling them telling them all those things. But I mean, of course, that's a TV show. But that happens in real life, and especially with AI now, with the deep fakes. That's getting bad.
There are whole TikTok accounts with people who you think are the celebrity. They sound like them, they look like them, and the whole time it's like a deep fake.
Yeah.
And they say crazy shit on there, and it's hard. I mean, common sense tells you the celebrity's not doing that because it's like career ruining shit. But at the same time, you're like, could it be? Like, it's so hard. Technology is scary.
Technology is scary.
I would not want to be a child growing up nowadays, or a parent with a child.
So, to get back to, Cyberstalking. No, don't apologize. Before I do want to say this. So the prevalence in 2024, 62% of internet users in the U.S. reported being catfished.
Not surprised.
Yeah.
That is gigantic to me. With 53% of those being women and 18% being between the ages of 16 and 24. In 2022, Americans reported losing almost $740 million to romance scammers, which is one of the highest reported financial losses for internet crimes. Per capita, Alaska has the highest number of catfishing victims per capita.
Really?
So
per
weird.
Capita. So fewer people.
I guess, but
that makes sense.
Strange.
While Louisiana has the lowest. Isn't that interesting?
That is
I thought it was
interesting.
really
I
interesting.
would assume they would be so populated. They would, there's really
Victims aged 70 and older are typically more affected by catfishing scams, costing them over $30,000, which is more than 8 times the average cost for victims under 30.
Yeah, the people that are older, elderly, they get affected more by the money scams.
The Nigerian.
Well, they also get your grandson's in jail and he needs bail money.
That one.
And they think
that kind of thing.
Oh, I didn't know about that one. All right. State losses. California reportedly lost $183,928,230 to catfishing scams.
That's insane.
In 2021, the U.S. reported $547 million in losses from online romance scams, which was more than 500% higher than the $87 million lost in 2017. Wow.
I feel like these numbers may have gone up since 2020. Is that what the
these
saying?
are 2020, 2022, 2023.
Yeah,
so,
because again, COVID shut everything down. Like people like me who are single, it's like, at that point I was not trying to date anybody, but there were people that were, and people were really affected by the isolation of the pandemic. that they were looking online
right.
to make those connections, because connection is one of those things that you need as a human being. As much as we try to say, I'm like you, I try to say that I hate people, but I have to be around people. I need to connect with people.
Right.
It doesn't need to be a lot of people. I actually made a post about this the other day. I'm just like, here's me. I'm going to go out more and try to meet new people and try to find people that align with the things that I like to do. You know, things that don't revolve around sitting in a bar all the time or drinking all the time. Things
she comes over and hangs out with us to drink.
No, that's okay occasionally. But like, if that's all the person wants to do, which is like half of my exes that just like to sit at the bar and drink until they get absolutely drunk out of their mind that I have to drive them home.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. I've dated some winners. I hope they're listening to this too. Anyway.
I hope everyone's listening to our podcast all of the time.
But that's not what I'm looking for, you know, because now I like to go outdoors. I like to do like outdoorsy things.
If you're in the Houston area and
right? Like this is my plug for myself. I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
I'm kidding. Anyway, so I posted that, and then I'm just like, I went to Ross and TJ Maxx because I was trying to find a cover up for the weekend because I'm going somewhere that it's supposed to be cold inside, which I'm probably going to be hot, so it doesn't really matter. But there were so many people. I'm just like, nope. Too many people.
Too many people.
All
of the time.
Okay, I don't want to be around people anymore.
It's hard.
Can I ask a question related to the topic?
Yes, of course.
So are you guys going to talk about like what someone should do if they think they're being stalked online? Like, or, you know, like what they can do if they think they're being cyber stalked?
We can absolutely talk about that. So you definitely want to keep all the evidence of that. You want to cut off communication with them, but first you want to tell them to stop. You want to verbatim tell them in writing to stop bothering you. Then you can go on with blocking them, all that stuff. And then you want to report to the Internet Crimes Complaint Center.
FBI.
Yeah.
In the show notes.
Yeah, basically. And then they are going to be the ones to filter that to the proper jurisdiction, whether that be federal, state, local. So then you have your evidence and you can move forward with the case. Now, I think what a lot of people have a hard time with is this actually considered cyberstalking? So what we have to keep in mind whenever it comes to the definition of stalking is, would it cause a reasonable person fear? A reasonable person. So what a lot of people say is, whenever it comes to cyberstalking or stalking in general, the emotions are really high, especially whenever it comes to the romantic kind of stalking. Mm-hmm. They try to say emotions are running high. You know, they're not thinking the way that they would typically think. Well, but are they? Let's go back to something was wrong. One of the episodes they were talking about one of the victims, Lauren. At one point, whenever she was living with Jessica, she had a peeping Tom that was at her window. And
it was Jessica.
Yeah, it was Jessica.
I was going to ask if it was Jessica.
It was Jessica, but I would be terrified if I heard somebody outside my door, right? And I'm not going through any of this right now.
Yeah.
I am thinking on a reasonable, rational level.
Yeah.
That would scare the shit out of me.
That's such a violation.
It is. I mean, I've been scared with branches hitting my window before, but if it is dead middle of the night and you're trying to sleep and you start hearing tapping on your window, that is going to cause a reasonable person to be scared.
I'd burn it down.
I get freaked out when the motion detector lights come on
100%.
in the backyard. I freak out. I can't.
You know, and I can't even release the dog on them anymore because he thinks everybody's his best friend. And he's also like geriatric, so he'd probably fall trying to charge him.
Mine are a whole 5 pounds total.
I mean, mine's 60, but again, he'd probably fall whenever he starts charging, so that's not going to help. But I mean, and never mind, I'm not going to get onto that soapbox of telling people to have their dogs charge at somebody that's trying to cause them harm.
Yeah.
Because why would I put my animal in harm's way?
Right.
Why would I put my baby in harm's way? But yeah, so you definitely want to make sure that you're keeping the evidence. You are making sure that you are telling them that you want the behavior to stop, that it's making you uncomfortable, and then you go report it. And I mean, you can also go to your local law enforcement and they can make sure that it gets to where it's supposed to go. Again, but they may have a hard time investigating it if they don't have the resources. But it's also just having the awareness too. It's having that awareness of what could be, how do you identify if you're being catfished? Like, you can do a very easy Google reverse image search.
Yeah.
If you think that the profile picture looks
they
too
waited
good to be
a long
true.
time. They waited a long time to do it.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's one of the things that you can do. And I noticed that, like, I just got on one of the dating apps for fun one time. I'm just like, I just kind of want to see what this is like now. And I'm going through and I'm just like, that's fake. That's fake. That's fake. Because it's like, why would that person even be on a dating app? And I'm not saying that attractive people don't get on dating apps. I don't find myself unattractive, unattractive, but you see like these model looking photos.
But there's also the Facebook forums. Are we dating the same person or whatever? They brought that up
too. People have actually invited me to that. I'm like, I'm not dating anybody, so why do I want to
I'm
be
in
part
it
of
just
that?
for the tea.
I wanted to join one just to see like
The Galveston one.
I thought about it, but it stresses me out. I don't like seeing people act that nasty towards each other, and I don't know how nasty they act towards each other.
So in the group, they don't.
It's kind of like, hey, I feel
is it more of like a support
girls,
group?
Yeah, it's like girls having girls' backs. Like, hey, girly, we're
Yeah.
I saw him at the bar last week with someone that wasn't you, type thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it does the gossip of it. It's like,
because it's like these people, like
I don't mind seeing them go down. I don't mind seeing them go down.
No.
They think they're above consequences. Same thing with the cyberstalking and everything else. They think they're never going to face consequences.
That's
because in reality, most of the time they don't. So
that's the part. That part. Any last tidbits of wisdom?
I feel like we've been all over the place, but I think it's all good information.
100%.
Like, because there's so much with cyber, like bullying, stalking, all kinds of stuff now, abuse, like scams, everything is so crazy.
Yeah. Well, I
feel like it's something that we're still learning so much about all of the time.
Well, it's just about keeping awareness about it. That
Yeah. And I mean, like I said, it's really just knowing what it looks like. Does this look too good to be true? I mean, I know there's like a saying that goes toward it, but basically trust your intuition. Like if it looks too good to be true, it really is.
Yeah.
A lot of the social media apps and the dating apps now have that verify. Mm-hmm. So that basically means you actually have to take selfies of yourself from certain angles in order to verify that is you that's on that picture.
For YouTube, I had to like take a video and like turn my head one way, turn it straight, turn another, upload my driver's license.
Yeah.
I can't verify on LinkedIn because I don't go by my given name.
I can't verify on Facebook because I don't do that.
Same.
Or Instagram.
Yeah. So I can't. So I won't be able to verify on those things because I don't go by my given name. Yeah. I'm not about to put my whole name out there just so I can. Yeah. No.
But also knowing some of the tactics that they're going to use. And the biggest one, just like on the Something Was Wrong podcast, if they refuse to FaceTime you or do phone calls with you, that is definitely a sign that you're being catfished by somebody. What
if you don't want to call or FaceTime?
Then they should think you're a catfish. They should look out for themselves.
I mean, honestly, I would expect them to think that I was a catfish.
Not after, like after like 6 months. Okay.
I mean, if I started getting accused of that, I'd be like, fine, for like 5 minutes.
Yeah. I get not wanting to meet in person right away, but like you're not going to even like do a phone call. I don't
Also,
know.
if they're trying to move too fast, catfish will do that too. Like you were talking about the love bombing. And it's not just catfish. I mean, it's online romance scammers regardless. They're going to try to move like super fast. Like in 2 days, they're going to start saying, I love you.
A big thing is like, don't keep your location on. A lot of people keep their location on. And when you post things online and you post pictures online, they can geotag all of that stuff.
Yeah.
I mean,
how do you do that? How do you?
it's a setting on your phone, or, you get apps that say, can we use your location? Or, like you're on Facebook and people are like,
location.
Yeah, people are checking in at very specific places in the moment while they're there. People know that you're there. People know you're not. I asked her if she was going to take your videos of you. but yeah, so geotagging, and while you're in the moment at the place, like after the fact when you're not there anymore, that's one thing. But when you're in there, people just don't think about those little things because, again, you want to believe the good in people.
Where do I find the location thing?
Privacy settings.
Privacy settings. I think I turned it off, but
and you can go into your app settings on your phone in general and go down the list, and under permissions for each app, it will ask, can you use your mic? Can you use your images? Can you use audio, location, things like that. A lot of apps require you to do the location.
I set it to allow to use my location when using.
Yeah.
So like if I'm using a running or a walking app, yes, I want the GPS to say how far I've gone.
Yeah.
So I'll allow it to track my location while I'm using it.
Yeah, right.
But also, like, kind of going to what you were talking about, checking
like Instagram
in places.
and Facebook, you only want to do while using, right?
Well, it's anytime you post a picture or anything, people can trace
where
that.
you are.
But what were you saying?
Sorry, I don't like. It's only apps like that, like the health fitness apps, that I allow to use my location whenever I'm using. But what was I saying?
You were saying along the lines of something I said.
Sorry.
You said something. It'll come to me.
Shit, sorry.
What were you talking about before I said that?
Location.
Location. I got it. So a lot of people like to tag in where they're at. Yeah. And a lot of people have a routine that's very easy to track. And so I've noticed a lot of people will tag in at the bar that they're at, or tag in at work, or tag in at the gym. Stalkers, they're looking for your routine. They're looking to learn your routine.
Yeah.
So again, if you're putting your whole life on social media and you're telling people exactly where you're at when you're there, they know how to track you. Like, whenever I go on vacation, I like to post pictures of the vacation. I'm going to post them like a week later.
Yeah.
Because you don't know when I was actually there. Yeah. Am I there now? Or was I there last week? Or was I there a month ago?
Yeah.
You don't know.
I do a lot of presentations in the high school to kids, like teens, about the consequences of things they post. And it's just like, they don't want to listen until it happens. And it's so scary because there's just people just sitting out there just waiting for that kind of stuff. Like you said, I hate my parents. No one understands me. I want to run away. Stuff like that.
Oh, and that's what traffickers are looking for.
Yeah.
Statistically speaking, a trafficker will approach a person that has run away from home, a minor that's run away from home, within 48 hours. Because that is one of the vulnerabilities that they're looking for. So please.
Well, this was a real uplifting. This is a real uplifting.
As is every episode we have.
Another uplifting and positive week of case
But
files.
we're spreading awareness. Like,
we are.
So important.
This is important. And that's one of the reasons why I want to just I know we can't, we're not doing a deep dive into a story. But that I just didn't want that to be the point. I wanted us, this is the conversation that I think people need it needs to be brought to mind for people to go, we shouldn't do that.
I don't know if you've seen it, but there's a whole series called Web of Lies.
I love that show.
I love that show. If you're not afraid of cybercrime and you're not afraid of being stalked online, go watch that show because a lot of that starts online.
So one of the
It's called
episodes,
Web of Lies?
yes,
Web of Lies.
on the ID channel.
Yeah.
So one of the episodes, real quick, that I watched, this is the example that I use all the time whenever I'm talking to kids about like trafficking and cyberstalking and all that stuff, online predators. It was in season 7, and for the life of me, I had it written down. I cannot remember the name of the episode. Something about modeling. But basically, it was a very attractive female that was reaching out to high school boys. And she was basically flirting with them. A little bit of an older female, not old, but like
older. Yeah, she was like
compared to them.
Yeah.
So basically, what she was doing is she was telling them that they're very attractive, that they could be models. Please send me pictures, and I can get you this contract, right? And so the boys were doing that, and then she started blackmailing them, and then eventually. She reached out to a girl that went to the school, but it wasn't the woman this time. It was a young man that was about their age, about high school age, that was saying, "Oh, I'm new to the area. I'm new to the school. I'm trying to make new friends. Would you be willing to be my friend and show me around and all this other stuff?" Also tricked her into something. I don't remember if he tricked her into sending nude photos or what, but basically tricked her into this little scam. Turns out the entire time it was one person. It was never a female. It was a man that was actually very well known in the community, and to all the people that he had victimized, that he was extorting them.
It was episode 5.
That's it.
The model predator.
That's it.
You didn't even have to look that up.
She knows exactly what I'm talking about. She knows exactly what I'm talking about.
It really shows you, even if you don't necessarily believe everything you see in these shows, it really shows you how quickly things can spiral. There's a lot of teenagers. There's like a love triangle one, and I can't even remember what season it is.
I saw that.
But they kill one of the girls ends up dying because of this love triangle that's happening online, and they're teenagers. I mean, it's crazy. Cyberstalking, cyberbullying, all of that kind of stuff. It's just, anyways, Web of Lies.
Yeah,
that's
and this one lends more to cyberbullying, but Audrey and Daisy, the documentary.
Yes.
Oh,
Audrey she had gotten drunk and passed out and was raped by boys, and they started posting pictures online. She started getting bullied, and she ended up taking her life. Something very similar happened to Daisy. She ended up making it through, but later on, I think it was in 2020, she ended up taking her life. And then very shortly after that, her mother took her life. And so, people engage in this behavior and don't consider the consequences.
Yeah.
But the problem is they don't feel remorse either.
Yeah.
Which is sick. To me, that's sick.
I think it's easier for them because they can't see the person on the other. A lot of times they can't see the person on who they're hurting.
Yeah.
There was a UK show that did have celebrities go to their trolls and say, "Here's how your words impacted me." Like, it actually did hurt, because I think that the way that things are said online, people remove themselves as like, "Oh, well, it's just typed words. No one's going to read it. So it's not going to have the same impact." But it has as much of an impact on us as somebody yelling it at us. And so I know that if someone leaves us a comment, Ashley feels really bad about it. And I'm like, that fucking guy, like, I don't care. Like, it, because I have had to just, what am I going to do about it? There's nothing I can do about whatever it is that they're upset about at this point. And so that's a rarity for me. Usually I obsess about things like that. Like, what did I do? How can I fix it? What am I supposed to do with this?
You can't. That's what they get off.
And these are strangers that just mean nothing, and like, who knows if they're even who they say they are.
So I don't comment. I play online video games, so like, I'm pretty used to trolls.
Yes,
and
but I know
being
that
ridiculous.
but I also know that it does, for a hot second, live in your head more than it does mine. And it's because they're just rude.
Yeah. For no reason.
For no reason. And it's like, that's why.
I'm always afraid they're going to start doing what we talked about, where they start posting our personal stuff, like where we work, what we do, stuff like that.
My work knows what I do.
Know, but you know what I mean? Like, they can get real crazy.
They know exactly who I am. And there's not, that's... seriously.
Yeah, I've got nothing to lose.
When my boss...
free to stalk me.
When my boss is like, Kat, you're so annoying.
I think most of my secrets are out there now too. So
you're gonna be real sad if you break into my house. There's nothing there.
Exactly.
A turtle.
Exactly.
And boxes.
Like really old furniture. And good luck. Look at that table. Kia. It's all sinking. Like, it is what it is. But it's a lot easier to say things online than it is in person. And so like, that was the whole point. They're going to show up to these trolls' house and say it to my face.
Yeah.
And they're not going to, because they are bullies, just like bullies in real life. They are insecure. They are not strong enough to do that. So they're going to use the screen, the keyboard to protect them, and they can do that.
That is a big underlying factor behind cyberstalking. Is that lack of confidence.
Yeah.
That lack of self-worth.
Jessica had a lack of confidence in probably being gay. She wanted the attention of these girls and didn't get it. So she pretended to be a boy.
Did you hear about how she did it to a boy though? And
was she a girl?
Yeah. And that's how she was able to get away with it so easily, because she was able to make those phone calls because she was a girl.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, she was actually, she was doing the phone calls.
That was the only time. But she had over a dozen. She had over a dozen victims.
21, I think is what they said.
I mean, that's a lot.
From 2007 till now.
That's a lot.
18 years she's been doing it.
Wow.
It's crazy. And like, aren't they like in court for this now? Mm-hmm. When this just released? Mm-hmm. Yeah, like they're in court for this now.
I mean, it's...
I still got 10 more episodes listening.
I know. They got a lot of stuff to... You still have a lot to get through.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm not going to ruin it for you.
I know, and I'm just like, oh my God, like, it's already so much.
Y'all listen. Listen to it. Episode 20, something was wrong. Any closing thoughts? I mean, I'm sure we could go on and on and on. No.
Yeah, so it's about the closing thoughts like 15 minutes ago. We just kind of went
don't
on.
Don't use the internet.
Don't use it. Protect yourself.
That's why you don't get somebody ADHD on your podcast. Anyways, no, just the
ADHD trio.
Just be very hyper aware of who you're talking to, who you're giving your information to. Yeah. If trust your gut. Always trust your gut.
Well, and don't give your personal information to strangers. If you have your personal information on your profile, take it down. I know some people use their personal information for their businesses, but that's also how people get a hold of your information.
The things I've seen in my line of work towards business owners from people online, they ruin whole businesses because you make them mad one time. Mm-hmm. They get all their friends to leave you 1 stars. They start bullying you. They start calling your business. They start leaving reviews everywhere about your business, all online, because you said something in a chat room, or not a chat room, but like in a Facebook group, in a comment that pissed them off.
Chat rooms.
I'm so old. You said something on Facebook or Instagram or whatever the kids are using nowadays that upset them, but they will ruin your business online.
On the TikTok.
Yeah.
TikTok, you don't stop. All right.
I have not caught on with TikTok.
Yeah, it's really hard to do. All right, everybody. Well, until next week, if you see something, say something.
Follow us on YouTube.
Follow us. We're on the YouTube now.
We don't have videos there, but our audio's there. Videos will eventually be there.
Leave us some nice comments, because there's some crap. But it's
really us.
It's really us. It is really us. And anything else? You got
I don't know what
for
I'm
next
doing
week?
next week.
All right. It'll be a surprise for all of us.
All of us.
All of us. I love
It'll probably be a disappearance.
That's all right. That's all right.
Those are fun.
I love them.
I mean,
I was gonna say invite
as
me.
much one.
I don't think
a lot of them
here,
get, meet the person that kicks them online. So it'll be another fun episode.
great. I'm so excited. All right, everybody. We will see you next week.
Bye.